How strong is Rayleigh? Silver's Rayleigh, the Dark King, the right-hand man to the Pirate King, Goldie Roger. You know a Pirate King's crew is amazing when you're the Pirate King and your right-hand man is the Dark King. Yo, two kings on the same crew. You know there has to be some crazy powers to that equation. And I also want to say this, it's very controversial on his power. A lot of people are debating how strong Rayleigh is in his old age, how strong he is in his prime. To be honest here, today I'm going to do a video and I'm going to discuss how strong he was in his prime and his old age. I'm going to go tackle both of these subjects and I'm going to try to give my opinion, because we all know in One Piece there's multiple different opinions, but I'm gonna try to use some facts and see if I can justify my opinion. If you guys disagree, if you agree, I'm not too sure, but let's just put it in the comment section. Let's get to the video. Now, something that always interested me when I was looking at Silver's Rayleigh is his Conqueror's Haki. He seems to be one of those characters who has amazing Conqueror's Haki. I'm gonna be honest here, usually I like to call it King's Haki. The end of the official name is Conqueror's Haki, but for me it's easier to say King's Haki. And we know that when talking about his Haki, Ichiro Oda said that, you know how Luffy just took out 50,000 fishermen on Fishman Island at one time? Well, he said that Silver's Rayleigh had the ability to take out all 100,000 fishermen. So it just shows you how much Luffy has to grow in his Conqueror's Haki to reach that level of Rayleigh, and how crazy Rayleigh was in his Conqueror's Haki. He wasn't even the captain of his crew, but he had that amazing Conqueror's Haki. A lot of people have been saying that maybe Zoro's gonna get Conqueror's Haki because of this parallel between Silver's Rayleigh. I'm not too sure what, I might do a video later on in the future, but I do want to say this. I feel like old age does affect his Haki, because after he used it at the auction house, yes, if you guys didn't know, in Sabaody or Shabundi, he used it at the auction house and he couldn't use it again. That's what he said. I can't use this power again. So I think it affects your old age. When you become older, your Conqueror's Haki, you can't use it as much. I think the power is still there. Yes, the power is still there, but I don't think the endurance is there. And we know the same thing happened with Whitebeard. I remember there was a moment in Marineford where Whitebeard, who was mentioned to have Conqueror's Haki, and there was moments where there's times where Ace almost got executed, and I thought Whitebeard should have been using Conqueror's Haki. It might have been because he was sick, it might have been because he was injured, or it could just because of his old age, and that's just my opinion on the subject. Now, one thing I want to talk about is when we saw Silver's Rayleigh swim from Shambundi or Sabaody, I'm not too sure how you guys want to pronounce it, all the way up to Amazon Lily. I'll be honest here, that had me shook, yo. This man in old age, yes, it's crazy because we just talk about how his old age probably affects his endurance, but he swam from all the way from Shabundi or Sabaody to the Amazon Lily, through the Calm Belt where all the crazy Sea Kings are. He actually defeated a Sea King. Yeah, that's when you know you're part of the craziest pirate crew, the Pirate King crew. And he just showcased that he is a badass, no fruit needed. You know how people who eat adult fruit, they can't swim? Well, Rayleigh showcased that he's an amazing swimmer and he's actually very powerful without adult fruit. So I gotta give some respect to Rayleigh for showing that feat to us. It had me like, bruh. Now, something that's very interesting when talking about Silver's Rayleigh, the Dark King, is supposedly what I'm seeing is he's a great swordsman. Now, we know he took out a sword against Kizaru, and he did mention that he never took out the sword in a long time. Now, in my opinion, I believe that showcases that Rayleigh is one of the top tier swordsmen in the One Piece story. You might disagree, but that's how I saw when he was fighting Kizaru. I believe that he's one of the top tier swordsmen. I just wanted to see if his sword is his main weapon, because we also see when Zoro's about to be taken out by Kizaru, Rayleigh comes and kicks Kizaru's leg. Now, it just showcases that Rayleigh seemingly looks like a great martial artist. He looks like he can use his feet, he can kick really well, and it made me think of something. Right now on Monkey D. Luffy's crew, you have Zoro and Sanji. They've been the monster trio. There are a lot of people fight who's stronger, Zoro and Sanji. It's most likely right now, a lot of people have been saying Zoro is stronger because they think he's a vice captain. I made a video on that, so you can watch it if you want to watch it. But they use different attacks, swords and feet. And Rayleigh combining both of those, using a sword and feet, it's crazy how I'm like, okay, this guy is very versatile, and I feel like his power and his diversity. Yo, I'm telling you right now, Rayleigh is a bad man. I can't wait to see. Well, we know he's an amazing swimmer, so the fact that he's a great with his sword and great with the martial art, I think there's gonna be so much crazy stuff that we haven't seen from Rayleigh that we're gonna see in a flashback Goldie Roger, and that's why I feel like Prime Rayleigh scares me. Now, there was a moment where Garp was discussing, they came to Garp and they're like, yo, Rayleigh, we found Rayleigh, Dark King Rayleigh, the right-hand man to Goldie Roger. And Garp is like, okay, stop right now. He ended all that conversation because he said pretty much there's no way the Marines can go against two legends at the same time. Now we know they're going against Whitebeard, they're planning against Whitebeard, but the fact that they put Rayleigh in the same, Garp, the guy who's chasing Goldie Roger, him and Goldie Roger went at it multiple times, and Garp is saying that, okay, yeah, Rayleigh, how do I say this? He's on the same level, or he put him in the same status of Whitebeard. That just shows you how strong Rayleigh was in his prime. It definitely showcased that Rayleigh is someone you cannot be looking down on. The right-hand man, yeah, he's still on the level of the top tiers in the prime back in the day. So it just showcases how powerful he really was, and Garp showing that respect. You got to give that respect to what Garp said, yo, big things. Now, I feel like the most biggest fight you have to talk about when talking about how strong Rayleigh is the Kizaru versus Rayleigh fight. And let's be honest here, this is a controversial fight. You go on that YouTube clip, search up Kizaru versus Rayleigh, and you'll see in the comment section people always argue about who is stronger, Kizaru, Rayleigh, and it's a lot of people say, yo, Rayleigh would destroy him. A lot of people say Kizaru was ahead of him. Now, if you guys want to hear my opinion on the fight, we did see them go at it. We did see a moment where Kizaru kind of hyped up Rayleigh, saying, okay, yeah, this is gonna be really tough, like to the point at which it kind of seemed like Kizaru didn't think he could take out Rayleigh. A lot of people went with that line and they ran away with it. Now, my personal opinion is this: I definitely do think that Kizaru and Rayleigh at that time were on equal footing. As we see in the fight, they really didn't go 100%, but we see them, they're pretty much equal in their fighting. And there was a moment in which we saw Rayleigh actually sweating a bit. He looked kind of tired, heavy breathing. I'm not too sure if you want to, it's really, you got to really look back in the manga and the anime, but it kind of seemed like Rayleigh's endurance would have let him stop fighting. So it made me think, unless Rayleigh had some crazy powers that he was holding back against Kizaru, I definitely feel like you might have to give the edge to Kizaru. Think about it. Kizaru is an admiral in his prime, and Rayleigh is a former right-hand man in old age. Now, I'm not going to say that disrespects Rayleigh to the point of which, because we do not know what Rayleigh had in store. They didn't really use any named attacks, but I definitely feel like you got to give some respect to Kizaru in that matchup. I'm going to say right now, it seems like they're equal, and that's going to be a lot of what I'm talking about when how strong Rayleigh is in his old age. Now, I think I want to talk about back in the feel like personally back in the times of Goldie Roger and Whitebeard and Shiki, the old era. We knew that Rayleigh would have to fight someone on Whitebeard's crew, right? He would have to fight a right-hand man on Whitebeard's crew. Now, I don't think Rayleigh was fighting Marco, and you probably think, why? Marco is the right-hand man. Well, there was a spot that was called the 2nd Division Commander before Ace took it, and there was someone on there that isn't there now. So I definitely feel like that character might have been the strongest after Whitebeard. He might have been even closer to Whitebeard's age and knew Whitebeard for a long time. I'm not too sure. I'm just theorizing, speculating, but if that is the case, I want to see how Rayleigh fought that person, or if Rayleigh fought Marco back in the days. That would be very interesting. I would definitely be hyped to see that too, but I'm not too sure if he fought Marco. Just me thinking, like, I'm not really too sure. Now, I feel like there's a huge theory I must discuss when talking about how strong Rayleigh is, and that huge theory is that Rayleigh was the greatest swordsman before Mihawk. A lot of people say this because his name is the Dark King. He could have been the Dark King of Swordsmen. A lot of people say that, and the whole situation of Rayleigh using a sword, and the parallels between Zoro and Goldie Roger having the right-hand man being his greatest swordsman, just like a Luffy having it. A lot of people say there's connections there. Now, me personally, I'm not too sure if he was the greatest swordsman. I do think Rayleigh, like I said previously in this video, he is a top-tier swordsman, and you must respect that. Now, a lot of people are gonna be like, yo, he probably was the greatest swordsman, or he wasn't. I'm just saying, yo, I'm not too sure about this, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts on the subject at hand. I think one of my favorite moments, now, I really don't think you can put this as a heavy thing when talking about how strong Rayleigh is, but I feel like I have to mention it, is when Rayleigh was chilling with Luffy and Jinbei going back to Marineford, and he had those pebbles, and he just went boom, 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 and like stopped the cannons. It just shows you how crazy Rayleigh is and how much more power we haven't seen from him. He has different abilities that we still haven't seen, and different usage. Like, I'm just saying right now, when we see Rayleigh go all out in his flashback or in the future, what if Rayleigh comes back and helps Luffy out? I'm not too sure, but when we see Rayleigh go all out, I definitely feel like it's going to be some crazy stuff that he's going to show us, and that little moment of him throwing those pebbles, that got me hyped and made me think, yo, Rayleigh is definitely hiding crazy abilities. Now, I definitely want to give some respect to Rayleigh as a trainer. The fact that he trained Luffy in all 3 types of haki, it just showcases how powerful Rayleigh is, because you know, if to train someone in like one haki, he trained him in all 3 types of haki. It just shows you that Rayleigh was a hockey master. And it's crazy because a lot of people have been theorizing Shanks is a hockey master, Goldie Roger's a hockey master. Like, we pretty much confirmed that Rayleigh is a hockey master. The fact that he trained Luffy, and we see in the instructions he gave Luffy, even Gear 4, telling Gear 4 there's 2 straining on his body. Rayleigh has been through the ringer. He's been fighting multiple crazy powerful people, and he knows what Luffy needs to do to become the Pirate King. And I gotta give some respect to the Dark King, yo. Definitely gotta give some respect. The last thing I'm gonna discuss is not really something that has to do with his power. It's more of like a theory that's been circulating around the One Piece community. Is his eye. Rayleigh has a scar on his eye, and a lot of people think that once he opens his eye, he's the same thing as Zoro, because Zoro has a scar on his eye and it's kind of closed. Now, me personally, I'm not too sure. I did say there was a lot of parallels between Rayleigh and Zoro. They're both right-hand mans to the Pirate King and the future Pirate King, but I definitely am not too sure if there's some sort of eye power that Rayleigh has. A lot of people have been saying the Sharingan. I'm just joking. Nobody really says that. It's more of a joke, more of a troll thing. But I do want to say this. Rayleigh is definitely hiding some things. I might do a video in the future discussing Rayleigh's abilities, but that'll be way in the distant future, not that soon. So definitely just leave my thoughts on Rayleigh right now. On how strong Rayleigh is, I personally believe that Rayleigh in his old age was Admiral level. Now, a lot of people are gonna be like, yo, that's disrespectful, man. How are you gonna say he's Admiral level in his old age? From the Kizaru fight, I feel like that gives us the biggest evidence that showcased that he was Admiral level. Though I do think that if Rayleigh has some things in his tricks, his bag of tricks, I wouldn't be surprised if Rayleigh was on the level a little bit like above Admiral level, and maybe just call it top tier, because it's just called a top tier level. Because I definitely feel like there's a different, the Admiral level and Yonko level thing is so generic that you can just say top tier. I definitely feel like Rayleigh in his old age is still a top tier and very respectable. Now, when talking about his prime, I definitely respect Rayleigh in his prime to be a Yonko level character. And you probably think, whoa, that's a lot too much, yo. The Pirate King was Goldie Roger. How are you gonna say his right hand man was Yonko level? That's how powerful I think Rayleigh is. And I feel like you gotta give some respect to Rayleigh, yo. He was definitely someone who in his old age going against an admiral equaling, even though he hasn't really fought that much and Kizaru was always battling, it just showcased that in his prime, Rayleigh is a bad man. The words by Garp, I gotta say that Rayleigh in his prime is Yonko level. That's just my opinion on the subject at hand. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. I want to hear what you guys think about Rayleigh's power. I know you guys have some strong opinions on Rayleigh. A lot of people love him as one of their favorite characters. I definitely feel like Rayleigh's a badass trainer. And I also want to tell you guys this. I'm sorry for taking the hiatus. I will be returning with more videos consistently daily again. Had some things I had to deal with, but that's pretty much it. Like and share if you enjoyed. Like and share only if you enjoyed. And subscribe for more One Piece content. I'm the Legend Mac, and I'm gone.